How about the ones in attendance in the exit meeting?
One for the Danjo, Chairman, Basse Area Council, Usman Toure, CEO, Basse Area Council, Lamin Suso, Director of Finance, Basse Area Council, Mohamed Jaune, Procurement Officer, Basse Area Council, Sieni Kanute, Ward Councilor, and Yuba Jawara, Vice Chairman, Basse Area Council.
Now, on page 7, with respect to the total procurement proceedings and their values for the year ended 31st December 2020.
Council, before you proceed,
yes.
Can I confirm?
Please, absolutely.
Yes. Mr. Sanyang, since this is a combined report, the entry and the exit meetings, have you anywhere in the report indicated that these are the same sets of people, both in 2020 and in 2021, you understand, that were in situ, that is in place at the council? Can you confirm that for us?
I don't think there is anywhere in the report that indicates that the people in 2020 are the same set of people in 2021. It's not indicated on the report, but we can make confirmation. Yes, we
yes,
try
please
to make that.
avail us the information so that we can confirm that these are the same sets of people that were at the institution in 2020 and in 2021. Yes, Council.
Madam Chairperson, so I was just already the witness through the total procurement proceedings and their values for the year ended 31st December 2020. Are you there?
Yes.
Well, for open international tender, open national tender, two-stage tendering, request for proposal, were there any transactions?
No.
How about restricted tendering?
Nil.
How about single sourcing?
1,251 transactions.
Request for quotation?
13 transactions.
What is the value of the single sourcing? Almost $8 million.
$7 million.9, which is yes, almost $8 million.
How about the request for quotation?
About 4.7 millions.
Now, for the year 2021, for single sourcing, how many transactions?
888 transactions.
The value?
7.4 million, 7,437,000.
And the request for quotation?
7 transactions amounting to 426,400.
Good. Now, if you go to page 11, they still maintain the same individual in the procurement department or unit. Is that not the case?
Page 11.
Mohamed
Yes,
Jaune.
Mohamed Jaune, and the title is Procurement Officer, and the profession remains, is not taking any cost at the time of reporting, and the trainings undertaken are also mentioned.
Now, there were non-compliance issues on page 12. Do you see that on page 12? With respect to the SPU, you said
yes.
that during the period under review, GPPA Form 100,
yes,
which is a national requisition form,
yes.
is that correct?
Yes.
Was completed. However, we observed that the estimated cost is always the same as the amount quoted by the bidder. recommended for award. This shows that Form 100 is filled after the collection of invoices instead of before. And the next is this SPU does include evaluation criteria in this standardization document sent to the potential suppliers. However, there are instances in which the award criteria were not specific, such as not specifying the cancel payment plan or delivery. Now, on point 4, this seems to be a very serious concern. That is why you flagged it very, very early. Is that not the case?
Is it the second point on the non-compliance?
Yes. Let us just deal with the first point and we'll move to the second point.
Yes.
Do you see the first point?
During
Where you seem to conclude that because of the nature of how they fill Form 100, which is the National Requisition Form, it appears that these things are always filled after making a purchase with respect to any procurement method that they may conduct. So they don't really follow the procedure. They just kind of fill these documents afterwards to act as if they have followed all the procedure. Can you please explain?
Actually, it is a wrong procedure.
No, first explain, first simplify what is happening here, and then you now tell us, yes.
Yes. Now, on normal circumstances,
yes,
Form 100 is a requisition form.
yes,
Requesting for and require the approval of the accounting officer.
right,
So once that is done, the director of finance or whoever is responsible for finances should
yes,
also indicate fund availability. And the procurement officer should also sign to indicate that, yes, the request goes through the normal process, and even indicate that or affirm that it is from the user department. That is how it should have been done. Now, on Form 100, there are provisions for you to indicate an estimated cost. And of course, it's an estimate. Under normal circumstances, the estimate on Form 100 should not be always the same amount on the quotations. But if the amount on the quotations is always the same amount on the Form 100, we conclude that the invoices or quotations are collected prior to completing the Form 100, which is not right. Because like I said earlier, the Form 100 is a requisition. You cannot start the process before approval. It is wrong.
Now,
Oh, sorry, let me ask. So is this why the law is providing that you must do market survey in order to allow you as a PO to fill this form according to the knowledge that you have gathered from the market?
Right.
Thank you. You can
absolutely.
proceed.
Madam Chair is very right. So you have the market survey. You know the prevailing price in the market. You know this bottle of water. The market price for this bottle of water is how much usually?
Maybe $15.
$15. We all know it. So if you do a market survey, you know it's $15, right?
Yes.
Now, in your requisition form, where you make the request for purchase of any item or any good,
Yes.
you understand? The estimated cost would be $15, for example, because that is what is prevailing in the market.
Yeah.
So, if that is approved, then of course your quotations which you will receive from the bidders will probably suggest, one bidder will say, well, I am selling my bottle of water $10, another one will say 15, another one will say 20.
Exactly, yes.
But what you have here in this situation, and please don't hesitate to correct me if I'm wrong, is that they will jump and flout all these procedures, go and get quotations, make procurement, then now come and fill the requisition form to say, in fact, the water is $20 based on what it has been sold to them.
Yes, that is what our conclusions
Yes.
suggest.
Yes.
Because, like I said earlier, on normal circumstances, it's very unlikely that the estimated amount is always the same as the amount on the quotation. It's very unlikely.
Yes.
But in some cases, it's possible.
Absolutely.
Like we all know that this bottle is $15.
Right.
So if you are to estimate this, it's going to be $15. And if you do the procurement tomorrow, likely the quotation that you are going to collect is going to be the same $15. So it's possible that, but here our conclusion suggests, given all the transactions and the like, our conclusion suggests that they likely collect quotations before the completion of Form 100, which is wrong.
Because in fact, if you are to purchase, say, mobile phones, laptops, these things, different shops sell at different prices. In fact, the same brand, the same item may be sold at different prices. Why do you have a specific price which the actual supplier, the supplier supplied you with a specific price? Let's say $50,000 is for the laptop, but that's exactly the amount you have in the requisition form that you fill. Another item, let's say you went and purchased a camera or a desk. So you may have different, it's very normal to have different prices from different manufacturers or suppliers.
Yes.
But here it appears as if you have your own targeted supplier. Whatever arrangement you have with the individual is what you will now later on, after conducting the procurement, you now come and indicate that in the requisition form.
Right.
Is this not a typical case of let's say, like fraudulent activities?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That is why it is a non-compliant issue.
Okay, Mr. Sanyang, then under compliance, the last point, is it not in contradiction with the first point of the non-compliance?
That is, this shows, is it the last sentence of the first bullet point?
No, under the compliance,
On
the items, the issues under compliance, the last point, that is page 12.
Okay.
The last point, having discussed everything we have discussed just now, is it not in conflict with the first point under non-compliance?
They may not conflict. You can have evidences that the SPU carried out periodic market surveys to inform the placing of orders by the contracts committee during the period under review. Now, when they conduct the market survey, yes, they can inform the procurement process and the like. But then they know everything and a market survey was conducted. But again, deliberately, because the market survey is different from the collection of quotation. They are two different things. The market survey is for you to go out and then check what prevails in the market.
No, but we've just discussed that the market surveys allows the contracts committee, when the requisition is done and these forms are filled, it's based on the reports on the market survey that informs the person given charge or responsibility to fill these requisition forms, to revert to the report and see what is happening in the market and put these possible quotes in the form, because it's the first stage, that is the requisition. So you are explaining that it is not necessarily the same. Is that what I'm getting from you? Because my understanding, I may be wrong, my understanding is that as a contracts committee, when you make requisition, the reason why the law is allowing you or is telling you to do a market survey is to allow you to have an informed idea or knowledge of what is happening in the market.
Yes.
So that the variation on the quotations that you will receive, you will be able to explain. Because for every contractor that is coming to contract with you, remember, the authority registers it pays tax. So of course, for example, if this bottle is costing $15, the supplier will not sell it to you for $15 because he's looking for profit, he's looking for his margin. So maybe probably he will sell it to you at $18, $19 or $17 to make the profit and to be able to pay tax. So, but then the committee would have known that this is a bottom baseline price. So he cannot come and sell it to you at $50. And that is what takes you to the next level of negotiations. Am I not correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Yes, you can proceed. Yeah.
Now, please turn to page 16. One key part of procurement is an inspection team. Inspection and acceptance team or committee.
Yes.
I mean, we cannot overstate the importance, because here we have discussed over and over again that after all the procedures for purchasing of items or goods have been followed, due process, assuming, even though we know that's not the situation, in most of these area councils, they just flout the rules time and again at will. Then the idea is to guarantee that what the suppliers will supply to the to public institutions, they will be fit for the purpose, and they will be of quality, of course, naturally, and then you will have so that whatever complaints you may have at that time, maybe a particular good that's been supplied is not working effectively, you can either accept it or reject it, and so on. That's where you do the accepting or rejecting of goods based on what has been supplied to you in relation to what you have requested. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Now, but most of these institutions now for Basa Area Council, they don't even have a committee for that. So when goods are said to be delivered, they don't know. Whether it's been delivered, they don't know. We have seen they don't even have delivery notes or delivery receipts to that effect. That's even one aspect of it. But then this inspection committee is even suggesting that in the event there is in fact delivery, they will be on the ground to inspect these goods for the purpose of accepting or rejecting, considering so many things.
Right.
But that's not even present.
Right.
And it has never been present since 2018.
Right.
So how will one know if you are to conduct an audit or you are to conduct a review in this case? How will you know, in fact, whether all these monies that have been spent or that have been said to have been spent on services or goods are in fact being spent on those?
Actually, the way to know that is by going over the different documentations.
Yes.
Including the delivery notes and so on. But in the absence of that, it's going to be very difficult for one to determine whether they have been delivered, and even if delivered, are they delivered in accordance with what is being specified or not. So to determine that is going to be very difficult. It cannot.
Right?
Yes.
Again, on page 18, you have made observation in relation to the table, the two tables that you have drawn on page 17, with respect to the number of single sourcing transactions carried out. First, 1,251. Page 17, you have the table.
Yes,
I think
yes,
I've gone through
yes,
the table.
Page 17.
Yes, so more than 1,000 single sourcing method of procurement. But then that constitutes 98% this time around and 97% respectively for the 2 years under review. Are you following?
Yes, I am.
And you have made your observation on page 18. What is the observation?
An analysis of the procurements under various procurement methods indicates that most of the POs, that is the procuring organization's procurement, and that is 98.97% for the year ended 31st December 2020, and 99.22% for the year ended 31st December 2021 was carried out through a non-competitive method of single source, all of which has been approved by the Contracts Committee in line with Section 49C of the Act.
Now, please turn to page 19.
Before we proceed to page 19.
Yes.
Yes, you have referred us to Section 49C of the Act. So can you tell us what Section 49C of the Act says?
(49C) of the Act, approval of the use of single source procurement in accordance with the regulation.
Yes. So now my question is, were these single source transactions, were they in compliance with the regulation?
They are not.
Thank you.
Yes, so page 19, please. Are you
Yes.
there?
Yes, page 19.
Now, on non-compliance, there was no procurement plan for 2021, but then there was one for 2020. Do you see that?
Yes, Basse Area Council had not submitted an annual procurement plan for the period 2021, but received the plan for 2020 as stipulated in Section 29 of the Act.
Yes, and for this observation with respect to not complying with the law, they provided a response to that effect. What is the response?
For the procurement plan for the period under review, Basse Area Council prepared procurement plan for 2020, but for 2021, the procurement officer was on study at GPPI. Based on that, the procurement plan was not prepared, but majority of those programs are in the final budget of the council.
So, for 2021, there was no procurement officer on the ground, as far as their response is concerned.
That is what they
Yes.
are indicating.
Yes.
Yes.
So, how were they conducting procurement then in 2021?
I believe their procurements were conducted as
before.
The previous years,
By the
procurement officer was not involved in the procurement.
by the CEO and the finance director, right?
I assume, yes.
Yes. So, please.
Yes, under this response, did you find out whether the officer in question, was he studying outside of the jurisdiction, or was he studying within the jurisdiction and he was just given study leave which allow him to go and attend classes and come back and do his job? Did you find out that?
Yes, that I can confirm that the procurement officer was on training at GPPI, which is the training unit of GPPA, based at the authority's headquarters. So that I can confirm. And I can confirm also that he was on study leave. He was given a chance to come and study.
So he was not going back to his office to do any work. So he
Yes.
was given
Yes,
leave of absence to go
exactly,
and study.
because, yeah, if I can
It's a
make-
full-time
Exactly,
program.
yes. Those within, in most cases, those within, very close here, close to this area, normally, they'll be attending classes at the same time going to work. But given the proximity of Basse to this area, that is not possible. But let me also verify that this course is for only 6 months. The course is for only 6 months.
So can you confirm whether after the 6 months he returned to his office?
Okay, that we can confirm.
Thank you. So I believe this is a convenient point to stop. It is after 4. We may reconvene tomorrow and we may rise.